This is the plaintiff, Teddy. He says he hired the defendant to mix and master 4 songs he was working on. Paid the chump and got nothing for it. That's right. He's still waiting for his songs. No work was done. No masters were delivered to him. And he's not gonna just walk away from the $400 he paid the guy and is now owed because nothing was ever done. So he's suing. This is the defendant, Isaiah. He says the plaintiff asked him to mix and master 1 song. He charged him $400 for it, delivered it, and now he's claiming it was for 4 songs? He doesn't even get out of bed for less than $1,200 a song. He did this guy a favor for the $400. Now he's being sued in court? Huh, not cool, baby. Not cool. He's accused of letting the music die.
All parties, please use your right hand. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Teddy, you are suing Isaiah for $400 that you want returned to you, money you paid him to mix and master 4 songs, and according to you, he never ended up doing it. What's going on here?
All right, well, basically, I've known Mr. Isaiah for about 3 or 4 years. We've known each other through the music industry.
Where are you guys from?
Well, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
And you are?
Palm Beach.
And, okay, and is that where you're living? And is that where you're living when you guys get together and decide to do this endeavor?
No, we both live in Jacksonville.
Both in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. Okay, so go ahead.
Right, so basically, like I said, we've known each other professionally for about 3 or 4 years or whatnot. I was called about 2016, late 2016, by the defendant just to, call me and ask me, hey, what are you doing? How you been? Is everything okay? Hey, you can come by the studio and hang out sometime. It's not a problem.
He has a studio.
Right.
Okay.
He's part of a studio. Yes.
Okay.
So now we're hanging out or whatnot. So I asked him if he could mix and master my project because I had a project coming up. I actually have a listening party as well that I was trying to correlate or whatnot, and I needed my music to be mixed and mastered and completed or whatnot. He agreed. We agreed.
How many songs?
That's actually was 4 songs that needed to be done.
Do you have a contract with him?
The only thing we have is a verbal. And,
okay. Do you guys have anything in writing between you guys about what the agreement is?
No, ma'am.
What say you the agreement is?
Well, you saying just the agreement? Don't tell my story.
Yes, you got $400 from him, correct? Yes or no?
Yeah, well, I got not up front. I got 2
It doesn't matter. You ended up with $400 of his dollars.
There was
what were you supposed to do for $400?
Well, here we go. He came to me with his hard drive. He had things on there not complete, so I gave him a price after I saw the 1 song that he had, the one that I took off of his hard drive. There was no agreement. After I saw what he had on his hard drive and what I could do with it, I gave him a price, and that's what it was.
For doing what?
1 song.
So according to you, you were going to get paid $400 for doing 1 song?
200 for a mix, 20 for a master.
Okay, and according to you, it's 4 songs. What really happened here?
Oh,
it's about a woman, ain't it?
Yup.
What happened with the woman? Tell me about the woman.
For 1 song, and he did the dude a favor. Let's listen.
The woman has nothing to do with me.
Okay, you tell me about the woman.
Sorry, first of all, I've only known him 2.5 years.
Okay.
And yes, it was on a professional level. I was with a label, and we were traveling, and sometimes he would be in the areas we would be at. He hit me up, which I have a text message asking me.
I don't care who hit who up, all right?
He hit me asking me if he could come around the studio. First, he did a session with me first, one time, and didn't show. I haven't seen him probably like 6 or 7 months. And then he hit me up. And then he asked me about the song. So we did that, became good friends around each other all the time. We started going out of town together. So I had an artist, which was the female we're talking about. I told him, look, man, we have an opportunity right now. You can either, you can write these songs for this female artist, and we get paid on the back end with, whatever we get on. And he agreed. And so...
and none of that in writing either? Like, what if she made it big and then...
No, me and her, we have that agreement, basically, okay. But as far as...
But between you and him, you tell him to write songs and he doesn't have an agreement with you?
He didn't...
Does that ever work out for anybody? Does anybody ever get paid that way and then, just kind of take what they get? They don't know how much they're getting and...
Well, no, I didn't. Well, that's on both our ends because I didn't do agreement
All right,
with.
so you tell him, let's try to collaborate on something, and what happened?
Well, not really. Well, let's work together on getting this artist some content. Basically, that's what that was. So we started doing so, and in the midst of that, me and the artist, the female artist, knew each other for a while, and we get close, and some things happen, and in the midst of that, of course, he's a close person to me at this time. The only close person to me. So I tell him things. And what he does is, because he has ulterior motives, he goes behind my back and tells her things. And so when I find out about this...
Tells her what things?
Basically, it's all in the...
Just tell me about it.
Basically, he over here about to cry, and you done put it on him, and just this stupid stuff that you shouldn't even be having content. Anything I would tell him about what we had going on, he would run back to her and tell her, like, what are you doing? We don't do that. If you my homeboy, you my boy, and I tell you something, I don't run back to your girl.
So
and tell
what
your
ends
girl.
up happening?
So we end up big feud. We end up falling apart. Then he thinks that she's gone. She's sleeping right beside me. He's texting her, "Oh, bruh's gonna be mad tomorrow when he finds out. He gonna call you about it. He tells her I'm gonna call her because he don't know she's."
What are you guys, like 12-year-old girls?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm sorry, that was a complete insult to 12-year-old girls. I take it back.
No,
what are you guys, 12 years old?
I'm hearing this. So my response was,
Who's with her right now?
Nobody.
Were you with her at some point?
I am not her boyfriend.
He tried to be with her.
I never tried to be with her.
And then, so you say you had nothing going on with her.
I got all the messages.
Is she playing the two of you at the same time?
No, she played herself at the end of the day.
Say it again?
She played herself at the end of the day.
Well, how do you mean by that?
Because, like, basically, she wasn't nothing that she was trying to portray to be. All that stuff came up.
She's gone now,
yeah,
right?
She's gone.
She's not with you. She's not with you. She's not with anybody.
No.
All right, fabulous. So, but was that the cause of why you got mad at him?
No, that's the cause why I backed up. Like, okay, look, I ain't on him. Like, what you got going on? So I backed up. A week later, I got a subpoena against me.
A lawsuit.
After we done did all this stuff
right,
together.
but what'd you back up from?
Nothing. I just backed up, like, as far as him. I didn't leave him alone. I just said, you know what? I'm not gonna talk to him about this.
You tell me, what's he got left to do, and what has he done?
Basically, it's like this. He's done nothing. Basically, and that story, I don't mean to recant this situation, but basically, what he's saying about the woman, totally false. Totally false. He tried to show me her nude photographs when she first got there. I'm told him, no, I don't want to do that. This is professional. I'm a writer, you're a producer. Let's work, okay? I didn't know.
Really?
Right. Yeah, yes, really. That's what I'm saying. His story is false. His story is totally false.
Did he say that?
No.
What,
no.
he looked at him?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Why are you showing him?
Because why did I show him?
Creep.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. I got a question. How much power in this world do women have over men?
A lot.
It depends. Yeah, it depends. It depends.
It depends?
Yeah.
Okay, I want it more definitive. You're saying?
I say they have a lot because men, we go out and work and we work hard and everything, but when we come home, we always come home to a good woman.
That's right.
So.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay. Anybody want to save this guy? Anybody have another opinion here?
I'm just saying, they keep the household together. So women, they're number one.
Okay, we're ending this right now, going inside the courtroom.
So anyway, yes, he is correct about us coming to an agreement about giving her content and whatnot. So that's true. That is true. And we were working. I think we recorded about 3 or 4 of the songs that I written for or whatnot. It started to get a little crazy because he's starting to come to me now with things, emotional things, going through her phone, reading text messages about other people or whatnot, not allowing her to come outside of the bedroom when other people are recording in fear of they might steal her away or whatnot.
You had her locked in the bedroom?
Yeah. He would have her, make her stay in the room. This is what she said to me.
Okay.
I can't go out there because he doesn't want me to come out or whatnot.
He just doesn't want. That's where he works, and he didn't want her in the office when he was doing other stuff.
Well, she's an artist as well, so she's not a girl.
She can get out of the house. Why can't she get out of the house?
Oh, well, because she's not from there. She's from Orlando, so she's in the house.
And no one from Orlando can step out in Jacksonville because they might melt.
No, I'm just saying where she's going to go. She doesn't know anyone. She knows us.
All right, can I just ask you a question?
Sure.
Will you please tell me what you say he was supposed to do with the $400?
Okay, the $400 basically.
Because you realize the problem that we have. The problem that we have is that you have nothing in writing, not even text. Considering how much you guys guys text each other. I'm stunned that you don't have any text between each other about what the agreement was.
Yeah, because it was all verbal. Like I said, we've been
No, I
knowing each
know
other
it's
for a
all
while,
verbal, but sometimes an agreement can be all verbal, and then the text that you guys send each other back and forth might codify what it is and elucidate for a judge, oh, look, it was about 3 songs, not about 1 song, and it'll help you out. What happened here that there's 0 of that when you guys are constantly on your phones? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Nothing at all? Not 1 text, not 1 email that talks about what the agreement is between you two?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Right.
Ma'am, let me explain this. He lost his hard drive, right? So therefore, no, I'm sorry. That's my correction. I lost my hard drive. The song that I already bust down for him, like as far as mixing. So therefore, I went back into his hard drive, took that song off of his hard drive again, stripped it completely, remixed it again, remastered it again, and sent it to him that day.
Yeah.
Again,
I have
wouldn't have
no
done that.
idea.
I
And
wouldn't
it's
have done-
your fault that I have no idea. It's both of your faults. Nobody here can show me anything. I'm splitting the baby. $200 verdict for the plaintiff. Pay the man.
Well, as the judge put it, she split the baby. She's giving the plaintiff $200 instead of $400. You know your problem? You should have brought a copy of the song, you know?
Yeah, they probably would have jammed out to it. It's okay song.
It's a good song?
Yeah,
Is he a good writer?
He's a good writer.
Good. You a good producer?
Yeah, I'm a good producer.
Good mixer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right. Well, sorry.
It's all
Thank
right.
you very much. Okay, good. You still friends or not?
Nah, we don't.
No, we're not friends anymore. Okay. Here comes Teddy. You happy with what the judge has done?
I can't say I am right now.
You didn't? Song not good?
Well, it wasn't about the song. It was just about the fact that the facts weren't presented. I had other evidence, but, you know, I got talked over and everything, so it's all good. So it's not a problem.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank
you. Sign a few documents, and that's it. Harvey?
Okay, so here's the thing. To have an enforceable contract, there has to be what they call a meeting of the minds, which means that both sides have to actually agree on the essential terms of the contract. And in this case, clearly, one of the essential terms is how many songs have to be mixed. And that will do it for this case. Litigants, for the next on the way into the courtroom right now.
These are the plaintiffs, Aisha Davi and Demario Jordan. Aisha says she and her boyfriend moved from South Carolina to New York City, and they rented an apartment from the defendant. The sneaky woman lied about the condition of the place. The water that came out of the faucets was a yellow pea color. There was no heat in the winter, and she tried to secretly record them while they were in the apartment. Outrageous. The defendant owes them $1,800 in security she's withholding, and they're here suing her for just that today. This is the defendant, Latasha Bannister. She says the plaintiffs moved into her beautiful brownstone apartment and the neighbors began complaining about them immediately. They smoke reefer at all hours. Their dog scratched up her door and door frame, and they disconnected her security cameras. If anyone here today is owed money, it's certainly not the plaintiffs. That's for sure. She's accused of lousy landlording. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for repairs and unpaid rent.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff moved from South Carolina to the Big Apple, and it was a disaster. Water came out of the faucet, yellow pea color, and there was no heat. But the defendant says the plaintiffs were stoners who had an out-of-control dog. It's the case of my shower water is golden.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Ms. Dobby, Mr. Jordan, you're suing your former landlord, Ms. Bannister, for $1,800 that you say she owes you from a security deposit. You've got a counterclaim against them for $5,000, the statutory maximum. According to you, you're out $10,000 something. All right, let me hear from you first. What's going on?
Okay, so my boyfriend and I, we ended up deciding we were going to move to New York City.
From where?
From South Carolina.
Okay.
Moving to New York City, and we saved up some money, and I was trying to find an apartment in Brooklyn, and my mom actually worked with some nieces her nieces who actually said that she had an apartment in a brownstone, had the bottom floor available.
So your mom lives in New York?
No, she lives in South Carolina and got the information
okay.
from her nieces who are also in South Carolina
Okay.
about their Aunt Latasha, who is in New York City.
So how is it that you see the apartment? You see pictures?
Yes, I see
and
pictures.
You end up renting it before seeing it, before actually stepping foot in it?
Yes.
Okay.
I put a $500 hold on it, and then I spend $3,100 on top of it on the 18th of December.
All right, so you move in on what day?
January 3rd.
And then did you sign a lease?
No, we got there, we were told that there was going to be a lease, and we kept asking, and she kept saying she was going to get it together.
Okay.
And then she went out of town.
And then what happens?
We just started having issues with the apartment.
Such as?
There was yellow pee, like there was water in the water in the tub was yellow.
Okay, is that what you meant to say those 4 times? The water in the tub was yellow.
Yes.
Do you know why?
No, I was actually about to go in, and then I saw that it was completely yellow, and I actually have pictures of it.
Okay, let's see the pictures. Hold on.
Also around this time, Your Honor, we had like a nor'easter come in. If you're from this area, I mean, up north, you know, like it was really cold. The air was set, or the heat was set to turn off every weekend. So it was negative 12 degrees outside. With the wind chill, we had no heat.
Okay, so hold on. Let's talk about the water that we were talking about. So you sent her a text explaining to her that the water was yellow and the ice maker didn't work. The heat keeps cutting off on the weekends. How many weekends had the heat been cutting off?
Every weekend.
Every weekend.
All right. So it's January 19th, and you say, good morning, I haven't been able to use the tub because the water's yellow. Also, the dishwasher doesn't work, or the ice maker, and the heat keeps cutting off on the weekends. I'm confused about what to do for internet. I'm willing to pay, but I don't know. These are just some concerns I have with the apartment. She answers, I tried to call you. First, I have nothing to do with the color of your water. You're now living in New York. What does that mean?
Basically,
you're not in Kansas anymore, Pumpkin. What does that mean?
Basically mean they were doing work in the street, so I had nothing to do with the color of her water.
If the water is yellow, well, maybe not. If the water, that is... And you know, sometimes when they do work on the street,
they
we do have them. If the water is yellow, they may be working on something on the streets underground that's causing that problem, which it should go back to its original standard soon. If it doesn't in 24 hours, you can let me know and I'll call the city. All right. Second, I'll be back home this weekend to get someone to reset the temperature gauge so it won't drop down on Sunday. Third, you're not going to have a dishwasher. It works.
I disconnected.
It's disconnected.
Right.
No one gets a dishwasher in New York. Says who?
These are the things we spoke about previous, so that's
especially when they don't pay utilities. You're going to have to prove to me you spoke about that previously. Right. Or for the price of rent you pay. Again, I used to live there. That's why it's there. Certain things are not paid by the landlord. Necessity, yes. Luxury, that varies depending on the price. That sounds like you're telling them for the first time that they're not going to have a dishwasher, when in the pictures that they saw a dishwasher.
No, that's not.
Prove to me you told them, hey, I know there's a picture of a dishwasher, but I'm disconnecting it because I don't feel like paying your utilities for the dishwasher. Did that ever happen? Because I don't think it's in here.
Well, I'll take that hit and say,
yeah,
okay,
take the
but
hit.
If it's not in there, right, I'll take.
When I asked you guys about Cablevision, you didn't let me know for sure what you wanted to do. So when I shut it off now, you're in a rush for Cablevision. You are always welcome to call and get your own Cablevision. Only thing DirecTV's not allowed because they drill. Blah, blah, blah. Sounds good. Thank you. At that point, they're still not, like, that was kind of a testy text back, but at that point, you're still fine. That's why I didn't finish your lease, because it has to be changed a lot, because you have things in your apartment that tenants don't get. Your lease has to be changed a lot. Well, that's kind of the thing to tell people before they move in somewhere.
I did.
So, no.
But I understand.
No. First, you write the lease that has your demands. Whatever it is, I'm not going to pay for your this. I'm not going to pay for your that. You got to pay for repairs under such and such. Whatever it is you want, first lease, move in second. First lease, move in second. In December, you send them a text saying what your understanding is because you don't have a lease prepared. Why don't you just prepare the lease?
Well, there's a reason why. I didn't say my side yet.
Okay, what is the reason you didn't have a lease before people move into your place?
So, landlord in this case disconnects the dishwasher because the landlord didn't want to pay the utility bill. Can the landlord do that?
I think if it says in the lease that they...
Doesn't say in the lease.
Yes. I think they can.
They can? Really?
No, they can't.
Why?
If there's nothing in the lease, why would they disconnect the...
Because they don't want to pay the money. They're cheap. They don't want to pay the money.
No, I don't think they can.
Why?
Because the tenant has a right to pay for that service.
Because?
Because they're living there.
Well, so not just that. What did the tenants see? The dishwasher when the tenant moved in, right? Okay, going inside the courtroom.
The reason why she didn't have a lease is because I give people a trial period between 3 and 6 months.
No problem. So wait, because I love this.
Okay.
So you don't have a lease for your own benefit. Your own benefit, I have no problem with that. You want to give her a trial period because if you don't like them as tenants, then you want them out. And you don't want to be stuck to a lease. That's great. Except I can't help but notice in your stop.
Okay, go ahead.
And listen, I can't help but notice in your counterclaim that you have the chutzpah to sue for the rest of a year lease that you now want the benefit benefit of that you didn't get signed.
I'm sorry, it's misunderstood. You're misunderstanding me. I give them a lease for 3 to 6 months. I give it to them.
Did you give her a lease before she
didn't
moved in of
want
3
it.
to 6
And
months?
if you look in my text,
did you ever give them any lease?
She didn't.
Did they sign a lease?
No.
Okay, so how is it that you're suing for $9,000 for rent for a lease that never got signed?
Because she wanted a year, so I had to change the lease.
Yeah, and did she sign it?
No, because...
So, stop.
Okay, go ahead.
If you don't have a lease, you don't get the benefits of a lease. The benefits of a lease is that someone's locked in for a year. If you don't have a written lease, then what you have, by virtue of operation of law in New York and everywhere else, is a month-to-month. So that's all you've got. So no on the $9,000. And now let's talk about what else is happening. You're suing. You would decide you end up leaving. And why do you end up leaving?
Just with all the issues and nothing's getting addressed.
So was it still cold? What was not getting addressed?
Yeah, it was still cold. It was still come off on the weekends. She said she adjusted it, but it still would come off.
Okay, so when do you let her know that you're leaving?
The 27th of January.
And where did you end up going?
To
another
place down the not far, like 10, 15 minutes
And
away.
are you still there now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want your security back, and you are not releasing it to them. One, because you want $9,000 for a year, which we've already gone over. Why else are you not releasing it to them?
No, ma'am. I mean, Your Honor, what happened is when they asked for their security back, if you look in the Texas, I was actually willing to give it back.
I saw.
Right. Although when they moved, I went to the apartment. Then after, once I went to the apartment, I see their dog had torn up my door really badly.
Okay, let me see pictures of that. Do you have that?
Yes, I do. Okay, this is where the dog tore into the insulation of the door. The dog dug a bunch of holes into...
I'm sorry, hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
go ahead.
What do you mean by insulation in a door?
There's insulation in the door to keep the rain and the wind, and the cold out. Because the dog ripped into the insulation of the rubber and stuff, water drips inside the back room. If you go to a picture, you'll see how their door ripped into... See it? How his...
It's very hard to see what... I mean, it's a... I appreciate your... Is this the little rubber piece?
Right.
Okay, that's not insulation. You're talking about the piece of rubber that seals the door.
Right.
Okay, insulation to me is something inside the door.
Okay,
and that's what you kept saying, insulation in the door.
Right.
All right, so you mean the rubber stripping, right? That's what you mean?
Right, that's correct.
Okay, is all this grime from their dog?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, what... did you have a pet there?
We did.
What kind of pet?
That's a puppy, a dog.
I can't hear you.
A dog.
What kind of dog?
A husky.
He was big.
Okay, just a second.
Sorry.
And can you please tell me what the deal is with the door there?
I'm not aware if he did that.
Well,
I'm not sure.
This is not something you don't see in your apartment. You see this.
It was
Go ahead.
already...
Yeah, pipe up.
No, the door situation is 100% fair with the rubber insulation.
Okay.
There are multiple times where he was like kind of trying to get out, and we would take him on a walk.
All right,
So,
and then you said you had something from Home Depot?
Oh, yeah, because the door comes in, like it comes as a whole compartment. It's
Yeah, but
not
you
a
could
door.
just buy the rubber stripping. You don't need to buy the whole
I asked him that, and he said if I bought the rubber stripping, it wouldn't go in the way. I asked him.
Who's them?
I was at Home Depot with the gentleman who put his name on there. I did ask him about the rubber stripping, and he said, ma'am, the way that rubber stripping gets put in there is very difficult, and I don't know if he's just trying to make a sale. He says you might as well buy the door versus trying to get someone.
So rather than buying some rubber stripping, you should spend $1,000.
Well,
is that what he said? What is $850 for installation and $200 for a door?
I haven't.
All right, and now $300 for monies to repair and replace security cameras. What's that about?
They disconnected my security cameras, which she knew of as well.
Wait, what security cameras?
I have security cameras in the home to not inside of someone's home, meaning them, meaning the outside, to make sure the tenants do the trash and things of that sort. There's no lobbying or whatever, hanging out or whatever it may be. I have a camera system. She knew this. If you read the text when I let her know.
Hold on. Are you saying that the machinery is in her apartment, but there's no camera in her apartment?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Now, was there a camera in your apartment watching your every move?
When we first moved in, we saw that there was a camera system inside, and there was
When you say camera system, do you mean something watching you?
I don't know about
not that I know of.
Okay,
so she's correct on that. There was a computer sitting on a stand, like a little computer desk in a corner. She asked us multiple times if we wanted it removed. She'll put it upstairs because her nieces that gave the recommendation lived right upstairs. They moved in 2 days after us.
Okay, from South Carolina also?
From South Carolina also.
Oh.
Not all of the outlets were working in the place, so we needed the outlet that was there.
So what did you guys do? When she says you disconnected, all you did was unplug it?
Unplug the power cord.
But she said it was already broken when we moved in. She said, it's totally broken.
I'm sorry, so hold on. So all you did was unplug it?
Just the power cord.
Okay, and what are you saying?
The camera system was completely, they disconnected the camera system because the tenant called me and told me that they were smoking marijuana outside.
Okay.
And I think that they felt like, after he had told me that, and it's in the text because he texted me and told me that there were a bunch of kids outside, about 6 or 8 of them, and it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. It was coming in his window, and he was very upset over the conversation.
Marijuana outside
and after
or
that,
inside?
my camera system went down.
About an instance where it dealt with her nieces that were upstairs and some people that they brought over. And when she came in, she cursed them out and complained because she smelled marijuana in their apartment and yelled out the window at us when we were out there. And
were y'all smoking it together?
No. Absolutely. They were downstairs.
Including your nieces?
Including my nieces don't live there anymore?
I wonder why.
And you could see the text from the neighbor saying that they're out there smoking it. My nieces can't get in the backyard if they didn't let them because that was their backyard. They allowed my nieces to come down and do all of that together. And I was very upset over it because I told them previous to moving there, there's no smoking. And it's not what you do, it's the way you do it. You want to be 8 people out there deep or whatever with, it's a bit much.
Your Honor, she came over the next day.
Everybody just stop. Stop.
So I think that's why they disconnected my camera.
Maybe. Right. But I still am going to need some proof that they did something other than unplug it. Because you see, if I don't want you to tape me, all I got to do is unplug it, right? So there would be no reason for me to mess with a cable. So that doesn't make any sense. All right. I am, however, going to allow a deduction from the security deposit for the damage to the door and the labor that it will cause to re-weather strip the door. I'm allowing that in the amount of $250. And ordering you to return the rest of the security deposit in the amount of $1,550, and that resolves your counterclaim against them as well, because they are not going to have to pay to replace your security camera, and they certainly aren't going to have to pay $9 grand for a lease that never got signed. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Well, the plaintiffs are going to get back the bulk of their security deposit, less $250 for you to fix the door.
Yes.
So, you okay?
No, I'm fine with it. I think that they were totally dishonest, but unfortunately, these things happen.
Did you file the countersuit because they sued you?
No, I filed the countersuit basically meaning she's the one who wanted a year lease. Oh. So I never thought someone can just tell you 24 hours previous, oh, okay, I'm moving out. So I said, I feel like, if anything, she owes me. I don't know her, but,
The judge didn't agree with that.
Right, absolutely.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
All right, thank you very much. You must sign a few documents. Here come the plaintiffs now. So you're going to get money back, finally.
Yes.
Make you feel better?
Yes, great.
That's good. You happy about that?
Very happy.
I got to ask you a question. How do you get your hair to stay up like that? I've been looking at it. I can't figure it out.
It's all natural, organic.
Really?
It's organic. It
Good
just grows
for you.
like that.
Good. I know everybody's wondering the same thing. How do you do that? Well, congratulations. It doesn't take a lot of work. It's a piece of cake.
It's easy.
Good for you. That's even better. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you
Okay,
so
good
much.
enough. You're happy where you're living now?
Yes.
Okay,
Very,
good. Way to go.
very.
Okay, congratulations.
Like the great TYDM says, some days you're the bug, some days you're the windshield. Today we're the windshield.
You're the windshield. Okay. Harvey?
Here's the thing, the landlord's lucky because in some states, landlords get socked for 3 times the amount wrongfully withheld. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Tyrone Jones. He says he worked as a roofer for the defendant's company, and that guy's stiffing him on some of his pay. He's 57 years old. He lugged shingles up a ladder onto a slanted roof, and he deserves every penny of the money he was promised. So he's suing him here and now for the $162 he's still due. This is Here's the defendant, Charles Scott. He says the plaintiff has a problem telling time because if he called him to be at a job at 9 o'clock, the guy would show up at 8 and is now expecting to be paid for those extra hours. The plaintiff's an older gentleman. He tried to help him out by giving him some work, paid him in full. Now the bum is suing him? The nerve. He's accused of shorting an employee.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff's a roofer who says the defendant stiffed him, but the defendant says the plaintiff's a slacker and he's been paid in full. It's the case of raising the roof.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Okay, Tyrone Jones, you are suing Charles Scott for $162, a balance that you say you are owed, and that he shorted you when he hired you to help him with some roofs. Tell me about that.
Yes, that's correct. I met Charles. I was walking down the street. He was doing a roof, and I asked him did he need some help. So he said, yeah. So he gave me his number, and I called him. So.
Did you have roofing experience?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the next week or so, I got in touch with him, so we started on our first job, which was.
How many people were on that job?
The first day, it was just him and I.
Okay. And then the next day?
The next day was another gentleman. But he didn't stay for like maybe an hour, 2 hours or so. And it was just him and I.
Okay. And then you got paid for that job, and how much did you get paid?
$255.
And what were you supposed to get paid?
$364.
And how do you figure? How would you keep track of your hours?
Well, since we only worked a couple of days, so I would write them down.
So every day you would write something?
Right.
Not one day you wrote everything?
No, not one day.
Okay, let me see that.
No.
Because it kind of has the look of something that was written all at once because it's all in the same ink and with no variation in...
Well, this happened in February, so when I was at home, I just rewrote it.
Okay. Well, that's exactly what my question was. In any event, so then you started on a second job.
Yes.
And according to you, he shorted you then too.
Yes.
How much did he short you that time?
The second roof was $70.
Okay, so according to you, you have been shorted $162, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and now let me hear from you. What's your response to that?
When I start my jobs every morning, I text my wife what time we show up there. There's a couple. I have texts all over my phone from this gentleman, stating that like a couple times he showed up early. I don't pay people just to show up and do whatever they want to do. There's a couple times at the end of the day. The other dude that he's talking about is Ken. That is his name, and he was there more than 1 or 2 days. I believe he was there like 2 or 3 days, honestly, on the job. The second job, he was there every day.
The third guy you're talking about?
Ken, yes, Ken is his name. And he's the one that explained to me that as I ran his store, he would, or as I ran like Home Depot or whatever I had to do during the day, he would run to the store. The one day he's sitting in the truck with my gas.
Wait, who's he? You're using too many pronouns. I don't know who you're talking about.
This gentleman right here, I apologize.
Ken explained to you that when you would run to the store, what would happen?
I went to Home Depot one time.
Right.
So then he chose to just leave the job.
He being who? The plaintiff?
The plaintiff, yeah.
Did what?
Left the job.
And did
went
what?
Went to a store, did whatever he did. I have no idea how long he was gone.
Okay, but a store having nothing to do with the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like just going, getting something to drink or whatever. There were several times that the plaintiff was smoking cigarettes. I told him, we don't smoke on the roof. Then he stopped that. Then he'd be on the ground. He couldn't carry bundles. He couldn't really do the job. I was trying to help him out. I told him I'd start him at 10. He wanted 12. I told him I'd work with him on the 12.
Well, no, you told him you'd pay him 12.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
So that all started out like that. He couldn't do the job.
Why couldn't he do that? Wait, stop. Why couldn't he do the job?
He just couldn't handle the job.
Meaning he couldn't handle it how?
Physically. He couldn't handle the job physically.
I know, but that's a conclusion. I need you to tell me factually what led you to believe that the man couldn't handle the job.
Well, he wouldn't. Basically, he stayed on the ladder on the front of the roof. He stayed on the ladder. On the back of the roof, he wouldn't get up on the steeper part of the roof. He'd only stay down on the flat part of the roof. So I was up there doing all that by myself. Then
he wouldn't. What would he tell you? I'm afraid. What would he say? Or you just chose the top part and he chose the bottom part?
I just seen that he couldn't do it, so I asked him to go down there and just start that. So then when I took lunch, I told him, I said, do you want to take lunch? He says, I don't want to take lunch because you're making me look so bad, basically, that he wanted to try, you know, and go longer or whatever. So then one day he wasn't even there, and I had to shut my job down. I had to chase around on the east side, and I met him on East 55th to pick him up so he could actually make it to work. So I lost hours there trying to help this gentleman out.
So if an employee does a lousy job, can the employer withhold wages?
Legally, no.
That's all I care about. What do you say?
No.
You say no, even if it's a crappy job and worthless.
No, it's not okay.
Okay, we will find out going inside the courtroom.
Can I see your phone?
Yes, you can.
I'd like to see, what I want to see is during the time of these jobs, I want to see the text between you and your wife. Like the ones you told me about that I know exactly how much time there was because I always text my wife when I get there so that I have a record of it later.
Okay, here's
the... It seems so much easier to just write it down.
No, that's okay.
New guy Tyrone, 9:30 start. Thank you. I'm going to lunch. Okay. I want the Galaxy S9. It says 4 p.m. stop time. She texts you that. That's weird because you're the one who should be texting her about.
I probably called her.
Yeah. And he does exactly what he said. You have text, Tyrone went to lunch. Yeah. I start, I stop, and whatever else. Look, you can stop. These cases are very, very hard to prove, and I am very, very sensitive to them because I see this all the time where, you know, I have to be careful that a contractor, as it were, is not subbing work to people and abusing them. Because I see that all the time in Miami. I see it all the time, where people don't get paid and then they end up getting, you know, I'm constantly having, you know, people come up to me and say, what can I do about this? And it's so hard to prove because you don't clock in and clock out. And so... And according to you, you're like virtually the only employee. And so it's very, very, I have to be careful that you're not abusing of people and shortchanging them. And, you know, the worst stuff I see, people just don't get paid. And then that side moves on to another city, and then someone worked for weeks and weeks. And I always tell them the same thing. Why are you keep working if you think you got shortchanged? So your proof problems, your kind of case is very hard to prove. And it's not that he stiffed you. It's that, according to you, he didn't pay you enough. But at the end of the day, I've got to figure out whose testimony to trust on how many hours. You know, not that either of you have a great method, but he at least has a method, which is the texting back and forth. But even if he didn't have that method, the burden of proof when you come to court is on your side. And people have been able to prove these kinds of cases before by either, you know, showing me testimony, which I guess you don't have, certainly not in the first case, from other people who were in their same boat, who also got shortchanged, who can testify about how many hours you worked, showing me affidavits or the testimony of the homeowner. You're not in that position, I understand. But I hope you understand. You've come to court and you've said, trust me, judge, not him. And then he's saying, no, trust me. And it's just a he said, he said. It's very hard to prove. And you're the one with the burden of proving it. That means that I cannot find in your favor unless I find that it is more likely than not the way you are saying, and I just can't find that on this evidence. So my verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Well, the plaintiff fails to win his case. Mr. Jones, you heard the judge. She said yours is a very kind of hard case for her to decide, and you didn't have enough evidence for her.
Well,
you understand?
Yes.
So I feel sorry for you, but, you know, geez, it didn't work out.
Okay.
Okay. Be careful next time.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Now here comes Mr. Scott. I'm intrigued to know, why do you text your wife everything? Is she your secretary making notes?
Yeah, she handles all my accounting stuff and everything. But it seems like if I send it to her, then I have that in the text, you know what I mean? And it's accountable. I can go back. I can look at my phone. I can see what's going on. So then I know the hours. I normally try to verify everything with people, but it was just a little different with him, and I apologize it didn't work out.
Well, look, it was in your favor. She makes a list of this afterwards, so you have a record, I guess?
Yeah, I have a record of everything, every job that I've ever done, every payment I've ever made. I 1099 everybody. I have paperwork on that. I have applications on all these people.
So it works.
I don't know.
You got a good system.
Works.
All right,
it
good
works,
enough.
so.
Congratulations.
Thank you
very much. All right. Keeping good records. He does it, Harvey. What do you think?
Okay, you know, this happens a lot. The fact is, an employee can be awful. The employer still has to keep them, pay them their full wages. The remedy for the employer is simple. Fire them.
This is the plaintiff, Teddy. He says he hired the defendant to mix and master 4 songs he was working on. Paid the chump and got nothing for it. That's right. He's still waiting for his songs. No work was done. No masters were delivered to him. And he's not going to just walk away from the $400 he paid the guy and is now owed because nothing was ever done. So he's suing. This is the defendant, Isaiah. He says the plaintiff asked him to mix and master 1 song. He charged him $400 for it, delivered it, and now he's claiming it was for 4 songs? He doesn't even get out of bed for less than $1,200 a song. He did this guy a favor for the $400. Now he's being sued in court? Not cool, baby. Not cool. He's accused of letting the music die.
All parties, please use your right hand. Seated, litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Teddy, you are
ma'am.
suing Isaiah for $400 that you want returned to you, money you paid him to mix and master 4 songs, and according to you, he never ended up doing it. What's going on here?
All right, well, basically, I've known Mr. Isaiah for about 3 or 4 years. We've known each other through the music industry.
Where are you guys from?
Well, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
And you are?
Palm Beach.
And, okay, and is that where you're living? And is that where you're living when you guys get together and decide to do this endeavor?
No, we both live in Jacksonville.
Both in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go ahead.
Right, so basically, like I said, we've known each other professionally for about 3 or 4 years or whatnot. I was called about 2016, late 2016, by the defendant just to, call me and ask me, hey, what are you doing? How you been? Is everything okay? Hey, you can come by the studio and hang out sometime. It's not a problem.
He has a studio.
Right.
Okay.
He's part of a studio. Yes.
Okay.
So now we're hanging out or whatnot. So I asked him if he could mix and master my project because I had a project coming up. I actually have a listening party as well that I was trying to correlate or whatnot, and I needed my music to be mixed and mastered and completed or whatnot. He agreed. We agreed.
How many songs?
Actually, it was 4 songs that needed to be done.
Do you have a contract with him?
The only thing we have is a verbal. And,
okay. Do you guys have anything in writing between you guys about what the agreement is?
No, ma'am.
What say you the agreement is?
Well, you saying just the agreement? Don't tell my story.
Yes,
okay.
You got $400 from him, correct? Yes or no?
Well, I got not up front. I got 2
It doesn't
up front.
matter. You ended up with $400 of his dollars.
There was
what were you supposed to do for $400?
Well, here we go. He came to me with his hard drive. He had things on there not complete, so I gave him a price after I saw the 1 song that he had, the one that I took off of his hard drive. There was no agreement. After I saw what he had on his hard drive and what I could do with it, I gave him a price, and that's what it was.
For doing what?
1 song.
So according to you, you were going to get paid $400 for doing 1 song?
200 for a mix, 20 for a master.
Okay, and according to you, it's 4 songs. What really happened here?
Oh,
it's about a woman, ain't it?
Yup.
What happened with the woman? Tell me about the woman.
For 1 song, and he did the dude a favor. Let's listen.
The woman has nothing to do with me.
Okay, you tell me about the woman.
Sorry, first of all, I've only known him 2.5 years.
Okay.
And yes, it was on a professional level. I was with a label, and we were traveling, and sometimes he would be in the areas where we would be at. He hit me up, which I have a text message asking me.
I don't care who hit who up, all right?
He hit me asking me if he could come around the studio. First, he did a session with me first, one time. It didn't show. I haven't seen him probably like 6 or 7 months. And then he hit me up. And then he asked me about the song. So we did that, became good friends around each other all the time. We started going out of town together. Started, so I had an artist, which was the female we're talking about. I told him, look, man, we have an opportunity right now. You can either, you can write these songs for this female artist, and we